I, 21M, have custody of my brother, 3M, Nick. For some backstory, I've been raising Nick since he was born after my mom died during labor. The doctors did their best but couldn't save her. My dad was a wreck after that and even blamed Nick for mom's death. He started drinking a lot and doing drugs, making him unfit to care properly for Nick. Both sets of my grandparents were too old to raise a baby, and my only other relative, an uncle, had zero interest in a kid. The only other was giving Nick up for adoption, but I couldn't stomach the thought of allowing that to happen, especially when I knew how much my mom loved Nick even though she only got to hold him for a few minutes. So, I took him. Life is far from perfect. I rent one bedroom from a coworker's house. Trying to juggle work, school, and a baby is hard and expensive, but Nick is worth every struggle for me. He doesn't complain much, doesn't throw tantrums, isn't a picky eater, and sleeps fine on his own. All this is to say, I don't regret my decision to raise my brother. On to the issue. My 22F, GF Maddie and I had been seeing each other for 2 years. She's interacted with Nick several times and has even babysat him on occasion. I thought she adored him just as much as I did, but it turns out she was just faking. Last week, I overheard her on the phone chatting with her mom. It was an innocent conversation at first, but quickly turned into her complaining about Nick. She called him a burden, said he's in the way of our relationship, and that she'd never marry me as long as Nick's around. That one really hurt. We'd been discussing the idea of marriage and kids lately, and I was even planning to propose soon. But I couldn't let what she said slide. Here's where I might be AITA. Confronted Maddie the next day, and well, it didn't go very well. Maddie was pissed that I'd eavesdrop on her conversation. She said that she was just venting her frustration and that I said no right to be upset. Hearing her downplay what I heard made me more angry than I already was. How could she act like that? After insulting my little brother, a freaking toddler? I was honestly so disgusted in that moment and broke up with her. Yeah, I ended the relationship, told her that I couldn't be with someone who felt so neglective about my brother. Maddie was shocked and started yelling at me, throwing all sorts of insults, but I wasn't having it. I kicked her out and blocked her number right after. I loved her, I really did, but Nick had to come first, and I wasn't gonna let him be around such a negative person. However, a piece of me feels guilty that I didn't really hear her out and how easily I broke up with her. Maybe I'm just stupid, but Reddit, AITA?